When Suwon took her last breath on the hospital bed, she saw Lin Haoyu holding his new love's hand and pointing fingers at her inheritance. In her previous life, she was the daughter of the Su family, the center of attention, but she was blind and pursued the poor school idol Lin Haoyu for 3 years, spending money on him and getting into trouble for him. In the end, he took away her savings and lived with Bai Yuiguang. Suwon suddenly opened her eyes and found herself sitting in a university lecture hall. The teacher was teaching calculus at the podium, and next to her, Lin Haoyu pretended to accidentally drop his pen at her feet. This was the beginning of his countless exploitations of her sympathy. This time, Suwon did not bend down to pick it up like he did in his previous life. Instead, he stood up and walked straight to the last row. Sitting there was Jiang Yi, the school's famous bully, who always wore a black hoodie and had cold eyes. However, in her previous life, when she was bullied by Lin Haoyu, he had secretly helped her several times. "Classmate, is anyone here?" Suwon put her school bag on the empty seat next to Jiang Yi. Jiang Yi raised his eyes, a hint of surprise flashed in his dark eyes, then he returned to his coldness and shook his head gently. In the days that followed, Suwon completely gave up thinking about Lin Haoyu. She no longer bought breakfast for Lin Haoyu or helped him with his group assignments. Instead, she often appeared at the basketball court that Jiang Yi frequented. She would bring 2 bottles of ice cola and hand them to Jiang Yi when he was taking a break. When he was punished by the teacher to copy the school rules, she would secretly help him copy an extra copy. Jiang Yi felt awkward at first. He always accepted the things she handed him silently but rarely spoke. Until one day, Lin Haoyu was unwilling to be ignored by Suwon, so he stopped her in the cafeteria and started to argue with her. Jiang Yi suddenly appeared, protecting Suwon behind him, his eyes as cold as ice. "Stay away from her." After that day, Jiang Yi began to take the initiative to look for Suwon. He would put warm milk on her desk before morning self-study. On rainy days, he would wait for her downstairs of the dormitory with an umbrella. Suwon looked at the boy in front of her who was cold on the outside but warm on the inside, and her heart was filled with warmth. On graduation day, Jiang Yi knelt on one knee, holding the ring. "Suwon, I didn't dare to get close to you in my previous life. I don't want to miss you again in this life." Suwon smiled and nodded, tears streaming down her face. This time, she finally chose the right person and gained her own beautiful love.